Right here we've got the Dope Iconic Snow Pant, which Dope and Montec are the exact same brand. They're owned by the same people. This has been a fly-by-night brand that's using targeted ads and selling directly. Ironically, these were the most expensive pants I bought for this test, and I had to buy these direct. But they were right under the criteria that I set, which was a $179 price point, was the most I was willing to pay for a pair of pants to demolish, and these were, I think, were $159. They are 15-15 rated. Looking at the seams, it's a lot of single stitch seams. These are the ones that I really want to test because so many people are getting hit with these targeted ads to see if they're quality or not. I mean, I view them as a Walmart brand, but that's me. I mean, I'm not going to be a sucker for targeted ads just because a company dumped their whole marketing budget into Facebook and Instagram, and you shouldn't either. I have no clue who makes these zippers. They have no branding on anything that I could find. My guess, maybe YKK or HHH, but they're definitely made just for Dope. They have Dope branding all over them. Anyways, here we go. And that held. That did a little damage to it, but not much. So they did hold, surprisingly. Alright, we're going to test these Dope Snow Pants on the rear pocket tab to see how they are after I pull on them. Oh, that ripped. Also, why do they have back pocket flaps when there's literally no back pocket? Who are you trying to impress? That's a waste of material and an extra seam that doesn't need to exist. Well, that did a number on it. It really made it rough, and it has removed a lot of material on it. Seam rips easier than the 686 ones did, but not as easy as the Tesla pant or the Amazon Essential. There we go. They put seam tape where the pocket should be, but there's no pocket. That makes no friggin' sense. When you feel this material in here, the DWR coat, if you actually look at it, it looks like it's a film that they laid down almost like a 3M adhesive, and then they use the excess to tape the seams on there, but it's not critically taped, you know, for failure. A weird waterproofing that I don't think this would hold up in the long run. So yeah, if you look at this, it's like this weird tape. Then it's this film, and then so after that, this is actually where it adds the weight to the material. Weird, because it's not impregnated into the actual material, which is what you want. So the material will fail, not waterproofing, so then it'll get wet, and then it'll separate these layers. One thing that they did do that was right, they put some single stitch seams so that the internal liner and the insulation would stick together. That way they don't separate, they don't bunch up. That's actually smart. The polyfill, it's your standard polyfill. It's nothing special in there. Right here's the pocket. You got more of that taped film that they're using for their waterproofing. Kind of using it to adhere the pocket. So you got to rip that off to get to it. Which, I mean, that's nice that there's some kind of waterproofing. Here we go. Okay. So it is a giant stitched seam to hold the zipper on. And we've got to make, for the zippers finally, they're SAB. So I've never even heard of SAB. So it's not HHH or YKK. So I'm going to have to do some research on that. But yeah, that's it's just a stitch. It's a thick stitch. I mean, I'll give them that. So they had this around the waist of it. This is pointless. This does nothing to it, the shoelace. You don't need this, especially because they have these Velcro closures on here. So we're going to cut those open. Here we have the waistband with its elastic closure. Velcro is pretty stock. It's actually got real elastic in there, so you can actually pull that, which defeats the purpose of that shoelace drawstring that it had. We got their material. It's multi-layered. So it looks like they folded everything over, which is smart to an extent when you're building stuff, but the seam is cheap. That seam just ripped apart super easily. A zipper with little storm flap to expand over your cuff, and then when you get into it, you've got just a standard tiny storm cuff. I mean, this is very tiny. You do have a clip for your lace. You only have 2 strands of thick rubber to grip over the cuff. So overall, this is kind of chintzy for what you're paying for, as this was the most expensive pant in this test, even though their marketing is, oh, we cut out the middleman and it's cheaper. Yeah, it's cheaper for a reason, because it sucks. This was the one that I really wanted to test. This is the reason that this video even exists. And it did exactly what I thought. With it having that stickered-like membrane that's heat pressed onto the fabric, so it's not an impregnated fabric, the top layer was wet, but the under layer was dry, where it felt like it just had that vinyl sticker under there. Now, most people be like, hey, cool, I'm dry, that's fine. What you don't realize is that the moisture is going to sit on that top layer, and that's going to cause that adhesive to separate from that under layer. And when it does, that creates an area for it to pool. And when it does, you're going to end up with these pockets of pool area that are going to cause it to separate. It's a cheap manufacturing technique that they do to cut corners. And for the price that they're selling these at, you can get a better product from a mainstream brand that has brand recognition, that has technology behind it, that won't do this. So I find it funny that I bought the 686 standard pant for $99, and I paid the most for the Dope Snow pants buying them direct, and I'd rather have the 686 standard pant than this, because it will fail. The 686 more than likely would make it through a full season, no problems.